my lovelies. My name is Lecka, and today we are going to be watching episode 8 of Botched. We are getting very close to the end of season 1, everybody. Next, we will be watching the two-parter, so it'll be an extra long video, which will be very fun, of the season 1 finale, kind of like catch-up thing. It's kind of Jerry Springer style, which is weird. They never did it again because I'm sure that it just didn't work out. They were just trying things for the very first season of Botched. It was experimental. But I found it very interesting because of the drama that happens on that, but we'll get to that next episode. This is the last normal episode of season 1, and then after we watch the Jerry Springer bullshit of next episode with the season finale two-parter, then we will do our Where Are They Now recap of everybody that we've seen in season 1 before moving on to season 2 of Botched, and we will do a Where Are They Now of each season of Botched as we get through it. But with that all aside, let's go ahead and get on into today's video.
I developed a cult
Wow,
following.
that's a lot of lip filler.
I've had maybe 200 procedures.
200?
I was
Wow.
born with a cleft lip and palate.
Oh, that's a
I
big
don't
cleft lip.
expect perfection, but I didn't expect it to look worse.
Oh,
I
her
looked down
nostrils
at
were
I paid
fucked up.
$150 to mess me up. Once we got home, my eyes, they were red, they were
Oh,
swollen,
they are
and I
puffy.
just freaked out. I was like, dear God, please don't let me go blind. I want to be
Oh.
sexy.
I wanna be hot, sexy, make me beautiful.
I want to be perfect.
Gotta love that theme song. Fucking iconic intro. We love to see it. If you're
My
not
name is
dancing to the
Monique
Botched
Allen.
intro, you're
I was
watching
raised in
wrong.
a
Oh
town.
no, my
I went
hair.
to Catholic boys' school. I was an altar boy, and after the 9th grade, it just wasn't for me no more because I was just too feminine for school. And then when I was
Okay,
18, I told
she's
my parents
trans.
that I wanted to have my sex reassignment. They weren't surprised. My whole
They
life
weren't
I got Barbie
surprised?
dolls.
Well, at least they
Christmas
were
time, If I ever
supportive.
got a bat or a baseball, I'd scream and cry. So I went to school as Monique. I majored in criminal justice, and then I became a correctional case records analyst.
Okay.
They always said I was too flamboyant for the office. I had to tone down this, tone down that.
Ugh.
8 to 5 was their world. Then after that, honey, I lived a world that they could never imagine.
Oh, absolutely.
I started going around to clubs, and I developed a cult following.
Good for
And
her.
I met this record
Look at those
producer. And
titties,
before you
damn.
knew it, I'd go to the studio, I put things over my ears, and I just start singing. I get booked in clubs in London a lot. They
Good for
really like
her.
my songs. 38 Triple F, Punch My Kitty, and The People's Tranny.
The People's Tranny, love that for
Now they're
her.
talking about doing a proper video.
Like a bigger budget.
Yeah, that's why I want to have all the surgeon having taken care of. When I was going to clubs all the
Her
time,
face
I
looks
met other
really
girls
good
like
there,
myself,
and it looks
and they were all in
very,
plastic surgery. So I got into it too. I had my
very
first facelift at 29
plastic.
years old, and that was crazy.
like here you can see that she has a lot of makeup on, so it's a little hard to see. She looks a lot more natural here. Obviously, she's not going for natural. That's not what I'm trying to say. All I'm saying is that it's very easy to overdo it with facial procedures to the point where you now look very plastic fantastic, right? If that's the look you're going for, then it's very easy to achieve that look because it's easy to overdo it and then immediately go from natural, enhanced, and then fall into the realm of you've obviously had work done. Most people want that enhanced middle ground, and that's where people try and be. But if you're constantly getting surgeries, she said earlier in the intro that she's had over 200 procedures. I'm assuming a lot of them have been done on her face. The fact she had a facelift at 29, I'm 28. I've never had any facial surgeries or anything like that. This is how my skin looks at 28, all right? Side profile here. Side profile here. I'm 180 pounds right now at 5'9" or 175 centimeters. So I do have like more skin and fat under my chin. I do still have a little bit of a double chin, but that will probably go down when I get to my goal weight of 135 and lose the other 45 pounds that I still have. And if it doesn't, then the only thing I would really do, I wouldn't even do surgery for this. I would just get cool sculpting done, which eliminates fat cells without a surgical need. Not everything you need to do has to be surgical, right? Surgical is for a very enhanced and dramatic change, and sometimes you need surgery to get the look that you want. The fact she had a facelift at 29 when she didn't need it, from all the pictures we've seen before too, like her face and her skin were gorgeous. She could have done facials, she could have just gotten a really good skincare routine and done masks and all these other things. Like, if she wants really big, perky, bimbo, fake titties, I want that too. That's totally fine. She can make her body look however she wants. It's always hard with the face for me because it's just so easy to overdo the facial surgeries and go from enhanced to plastic.
I've had my brows lifted, my cheeks augmented. I've had nose jobs. Don't know how many. I like
Several.
how I look. My motto is go big or go home.
But that's the thing.
I have
If she
had
likes how
over a
she
gallon of
looks,
liquid
it
silicone.
doesn't matter what I
I
think.
wish I had never
Doesn't
done
matter.
liquid silicone. I've had
It's
it shot
what she
into
likes.
My hips,
Oh.
my rear, in my breasts. I didn't have any problems for a good 10 years. and then it
Okay.
started migrating. Skin started getting different
Dude,
textures.
silicone
They started to
injections
change.
are
That's
so
when I started my
unsafe.
quest of
Do not ever
reconstruction
get
surgery.
silicone
I have
injections.
pixie ears. Apparently, the pixie ears came
What the
because of
hell?
previous facelift. They put so much tension, it pulled.
Look at that, the bottom of her earlobe. So you know how an earlobe normally is supposed to come and connect to the ear here? It has a little bit of a curve that then connects in. Hers essentially goes straight from the side. This entire triangle section here is filled in with skin. So instead of having a more natural earlobe curve, that's what she's talking about when she says she has pixie ears. You can clearly see her earlobe side goes straight into her jawline, which is not the look she wants, and also looks very augmented, very off, very not natural.
The ears
Again,
down.
I know she's not
Summer's
going for
coming, my
natural,
video's coming, bikini weather's coming, and it's
but
time
there's
to,
a difference between
you know, regain my youth. Every woman, every bitch walking around the streets
things
here is
looking
full of something.
interesting and something just looking botched, right? And her ears look botched. They don't look
We have Monique
enhanced, they
Allen,
look
and this
botched.
is interesting. Apparently, she had free liquid silicone injected everywhere. So she's had that
Dude,
liquid silicone.
liquid
leaking
silicone
everywhere. Very difficult.
injections
Good
are
morning,
so
Monique.
bad.
Pleasure meeting you.
Do not ever get
Welcome to
silicone
our
injections.
Thank
There's
you.
other
Well,
options for whatever you want to
Thank
do.
you.
I like what you're wearing.
Do you
Good
want
morning,
a
Dr.
butt
Nassif.
job done?
Here's
You
Monique.
get butt threads or a
Hi, Monique.
BBL. You want
The first
boobs
thing that
done?
walked into
Don't
the
get
exam room
injections.
was Monique's breasts,
Like-
and then she followed shortly after.
Can you give us a little
Oh my
surgical
God.
history?
Well, I first started with my SRS when I was
There's
22.
filler,
I was
there's
so
all
happy
kinds
to
of
have my
things.
sex change. Why go through all the body modifications that become a woman and still have a ding-a-ling hanging? And
Yeah,
then
makes
after, I think
sense.
I've
I get
had maybe
it.
200 procedures.
200 procedures?
But I do want to say
I've
that
had
that's
maybe 8
not
breast surgeries. I
the
don't want to be
sentiment
flat-chested
every
girl,
trans
I don't.
person
I'm
shares.
known for my breasts. From here to London to Paris.
That must have
A
been-
lot of that
She's
was
known for her
free
titties?
silicone injected in the body.
Oh.
And I've probably had 45 reconstruction surgeries to remove in different parts of the body.
Wow, 45 surgeries to remove free-floating silicone from injections she's had 20 plus years ago. That is insane. The longevity of silicone, especially free-floating silicone from injections that just moves around your body. You have no control over where it ends up, over where it lands, over where it gets globulated. Could cause so many problems in your body. And she's had 45 surgeries just to remove large globules of silicone from throughout her body that migrated from the injections. That is horrible, and I feel bad for her that has had to happen, because that has to be such a painful thing to go through 45 different times. That's wild. What I wanted to say really quick about the trans sentiment was that that is not true for everybody. There are trans people who do really want the bottom surgery, right? They want the sex reassignment surgery, more well known as bottom surgery, whether from male to female or female to male, because it is extremely affirming for their gender to not have a dick if they're going from male to female, or to have a dick if they're going from female to male, right? They want that anatomy so that they can feel more in line with the gender that they are. That is completely valid. It's also completely valid to have top surgery if they want, whether they are going from male to female and they are getting themselves boobies, or if they're going from female to male and chopping them off. Whatever makes them more confident and happy and affirmed in their gender of who they are. While a lot of trans people aspire to have both top and bottom surgery, there is a selection of trans people who don't. There are trans people who just get top surgery and don't get bottom surgery, that are completely happy living the life that they have, and they are still completely affirmed in the gender that they are, whether male to female or female to male. They just have whatever genitalia they were given at birth, right? They're okay with that. They don't want the bottom surgery. They know who they are, and they've gotten maybe top surgery or facial reconstructive surgery to look whichever gender more like they want to, and that's good enough for them. That's what's valid, because it's what is the ultimate goal for each unique person. And gender is such a interesting and complex, intricate matter that is so personal to each person on an individual basis that there is no one-size-fits-all or right answer for every person. So I just want to make it very clear, trans rights are human rights, and they always will be. But if you are a trans person, or if you are somebody who is newly trans, you haven't had any surgeries yet, and you want to, and you think that having all these surgeries is really intimidating, just remember, you only have to get the surgeries you really want. I mean, you don't even have to get the surgeries you really want in order to be valid as a trans person. You don't have to be passing as a cis female or male person in order to be a trans person. You are valid as a trans person exactly as you are. Anything you want to do to add on to that, to better align yourself outwardly and express yourself as the gender you are, is a completely personal choice that you want. Do you want top surgery? Do you want facial reconstructive surgery? Do you want body surgery and modifications? Do you want bottom surgery? All of that is up to you as a person, but you do not need any of those surgeries to be valid as a trans person.
Where did you have it injected?
Well, I had it in Tijuana.
The free-floating silicone
Tijuana!
is
That makes
injected
sense.
in her body
That makes
is
sense.
Very scary. It can become infected. And once it's infected, horrible bacteria can take over the body. The skin can die, and you can either, as a result, lose your limbs or worse, die.
What are you interested in having us look at for you?
I've been told recently that I have pixie ears.
So you want to have those ears look less pulled down? Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
have a
Yeah,
regular
With age and everything, my
looking
stomach started
earlobe.
to change.
We need to take
Not a
picture.
botched earlobe.
Monique's plastic surgery complications make her look botched. She
Yes,
has
they do.
serious disfigurement, so we're willing to take
She
the
does.
risk of
She
activating
looks
that
very,
free silicone
very
to improve her
plastic
botched
and also
problems.
very
Let's
botched.
take a peek here. Okay.
Especially the
Let's take a look
ears.
at your
Those
other
ears
side.
are bad.
Same thing, okay? Let's see the scar here. All right, so you have the scars there too.
Their ears are basically on her jaw now.
We
Yeah.
have to
They're
take
pulled
the deep
so
tissue
far down.
and kind of do this to
For
fix
really
it.
no reason.
So we have to lift this tissue up here so we can make like a little hammock.
It's difficult to operate on someone who's had free silicone injected into their body. Number one, you don't know where the silicone is and where it's migrated to. And
Yeah.
number two, you don't want to activate the inflammatory process. It makes it very difficult to heal and actually can be quite life-threatening.
That
You've had
too.
silicone injected here and a lot of
Yes,
it removed, right? So you have a lot of scarring in
I
this
have
area.
a lot of scarring in that
So
area.
that we'll look at that.
My stomach
Okay.
isn't the same as it
Are they
was.
actually
It's
going
the
to do
liquid
surgery on her?
silicone
I kind of
injections
figured
that
she
can
was going to
problem.
be the
Okay, so show us where you've
extreme
had-
example of this episode.
I've had
I
it
didn't think she
removed
was actually going to
several
get
times.
surgery.
Look, okay, so you've had these, yeah. Look at the scar.
Usually
And
they
then you
just
had
bring on an
liposuction
extreme
here.
person and then deny them
You
surgery,
have
look at
all
them and
this
say,
nice
ah,
stuff
fuck you,
going
go
on
away.
here. Monique's stomach
Hey,
is
Apple.
significantly disfigured. She's had a lot of free silicone injected in the area.
I have
She
a
had a lot of very
baby.
aggressive liposuction. She's
Sorry
lost
to
a lot of
pop in
weight,
unannounced.
So she needs a full tummy tuck to improve
He's
the
the
area
baby,
and get it cleaned up. How do you feel about having a
absolute
scar from here all the
the
way here
giant
in order to get the skin tightened and
Lots of
removed?
titties.
Doesn't bother me.
That we can improve.
Who wants to be loose? And I don't.
Right.
I'm really excited to
Excellent.
expose my new body and new face, and
Okay.
it's gonna feel like $1 million.
Good for her. Good for Monique. So they really are going to be doing surgery on her.
I'm Kelly. I'm 28 years
I wonder
old.
who
and
they're
I'm
going to
from
deny
Fallbrook,
in this
California.
episode then, because they
I
always
was born
deny
with a cleft
one
lip and
person and
palate,
only do
which is
surgery on two
when both
people.
the lip and the palate do not fuse together completely.
Unless for the
So I
last
had
episode
multiple
they're
surgeries
pulling a
as a
fast one and
child.
doing
I
surgery on all
don't think
three.
I even knew
No.
there was anything different about me until I was old enough to start going to like playgrounds and interacting with other children.
Right.
Kids would ask me, what's wrong with your nose? And, I didn't even really know how to answer them. I would
You were
get
born that way.
anxiety because I didn't want someone to point out that something's different about
Right.
me. I figured, I'm just gonna have to learn to live with it. This is me, accept it.
And her cleft
I've
lip
done my best, but something still it's hard
looks
sometimes.
better
If I had
than
to
what
guess
she
how
was
many
born
surgeries
with.
I had to repair the cleft lip and palate, I would
It's
guess
not perfect, but it's
probably
better.
like 5 or 6. I had a pretty severe underbite, so they had to break my jaw and basically reset it back to the position that it should be. And then my
Right.
mouth was wired shut. That was my most unpleasant surgery that I've ever had.
Wow.
So I had a liquid
A wired
pain
shut
reliever
mouth.
that
God,
made me
so what
very
is your
sick.
end goal here?
So vomiting with your mouth wired shut is not a pleasant experience.
Vomiting with
The
your
last
mouth
surgery I
wired
had was
shut?
when I was 19 years old
sounds
to make
terrible.
my nose more symmetrical. So after the surgery, I could pretty much tell right away that I was not going to be happy. Even with it swollen and bandaged, I could tell by looking at my nostrils that it was not better. I felt it looked worse. It looked more
Oh,
prominent
it's so
to me than it
lopsided.
did before I went in. I don't expect perfection, but I didn't expect it to look worse than it did.
Why do
And
you
then in
always
regards
look
to
like
my
you have
lips, the
resting
filler
bitch
is
face?
not in the correct spot, so it's given me
I
this
love you.
droopy
Go be
lip
free.
issue that I never had before.
I love you,
It hurts
Axel.
me to see Kelly hide herself.
I met
Aw, her
Leonard
husband.
at a bar I used to frequent
Oh,
after
I
I
have
got
cat
off
hair
of
all
work.
over me.
We dated for 1.5 to 2 years, and then we got engaged,
Aw.
and then we bought our house, and then we got pregnant. So we just went down to the courthouse and had a nice little 15-minute ceremony, and that was it. We
Hey,
don't
there you go.
need a wedding. We would rather use that money to get nice stuff for the baby.
There you go. I've been
Because
eloped
I don't
too.
like the way I
That's
look. I am a
something
habitual
I've done before.
photographer. So if I take a picture and everybody else looks good, I would just crop myself out.
I want her in
Aww.
the photos. I want her in
She's
our life.
so
When I have
insecure
photos that
about
I've cropped
herself.
myself out of, it makes me really sad. It would be amazing to have this surgery and
Now she
have a
cropped herself
ceremony
out
to
of
renew our
family
vows.
pictures
and then
that
to
she'll never
have,
be able to take
wedding
again.
photos finally, stuff I can display on my home and show our kids and not
That's
worry
so
about
sad.
if it's
Hi,
gonna look
Absol.
absolutely horrible. It would mean so much to me. never
Absol's
to
just
have to
rolling
crop a
around
photo
underneath
again.
my feet right now. I see you, being a bee.
Who do we have now?
We have Kelly Fleischman.
I
She
wonder
had a
how
cleft lip,
much
palate,
they'll be
and
able
a cleft
to
nose that comes with it.
reconstruct
I
and
wonder if she's really
improve
self-conscious about this. She's lived
her
with this her
cleft lip.
whole life. She's a veteran of craniofacial surgery. This is someone who will look dramatically better.
Good afternoon, Dr.
Yes.
Dr. Dubrow.
If they can make her look dramatically more camouflaged,
to a cosmetic surgery is a little
I would love
nerve-wracking
that for her.
intimidating. I don't
It
want to
would
be
increase
told
her
there's nothing I can
self-confidence
do
so
for you.
much.
Like, this is the best it's gonna ever be. It would just like literally break my heart.
So you're here for us to talk about your nose, I hear.
Yes.
Maybe your lip too.
Did you have a one-sided cleft
Yes,
palate?
just the one, the right side.
Cleft lip palate surgery is among the most complicated surgery we do. Cleft palates occur in about 0.04% of the population. It's very rare, actually.
When you're dealing with
cleft palates are
history of
extremely
cleft,
rare, but also
because the cartilage is used to
extremely
living a certain
hard
way in a certain direction. I cannot get it straight,
correct.
100%. Can we improve it? Yes, I think that we can get a really, really nice improvement as long as you understand it won't be perfect.
Oh, of course.
Right, it won't be
I think our
perfect,
next
but
step
it will
would be
be
to go
better,
examine your nose.
and better
You need to
is
get in there,
better
examine
than
that nose,
nothing.
and examine that septum, especially with the scope, to see, for example, how deviated it is, if there's any holes in the septum, if there's any
Her
weird
septum
things
looked
going on.
fucking crooked as hell, so
so
I'm
sorry.
assuming it's pretty bad.
There's in the corner.
Yeah.
Station 2.
Huh, yeah, it's like
All right. Now, I'm gonna-
sideways.
So
It's
septum
not
starts way back
straight
there,
right,
forward
you okay?
like it should be.
All right.
It wasn't pleasant, but
Her nose should say. She also
So
has
tell
like
me
a hump on
when
her
the septum
nose.
is pushed over. It starts up at the front on the left
It goes
side,
down,
and
has
all
a
the way
hump,
back,
and then
it
it goes
kinda comes
down
into the
again.
right
I
area.
wonder if they
That's
can
where
like
the bump
shave
is.
that
When
hump
you're a
down
baby,
for her
the
as
goal is
well to
close
make
that
her
palate
profile
and
more
take care of the cleft lip. However, as you become an adult, then your goal is to aesthetically make things perfect.
Aesthetic.
She needs one good final surgery to make it look better, more symmetric, just make it look more feminine. What I want to
Yeah,
do
more
is see
feminine.
if I can take something called a composite graft, which is
And if you
skinny
can get rid
cartilage
of the
from
hump
ear,
on her nose too and just
put
give her a
that
nice
inside your
smooth slope
nostril
or a
on the right
smoother slope,
to see if
that'll
that's
be
gonna
a
allow us
much
to push the
more
nose over.
feminine
Here's $1 million
side
question.
profile
How much cartilage is
as well.
inside your nose that I can use? That will tell me, can I just use ear cartilage alone, or do I need to use a little piece of rib? So some of these questions are probably not going to be answered, until we're in the operating room.
So just know
that the
that
surgery goes
he might
very
need
well.
rib.
I would hate to see anything happen to her. She's been through too much.
Oh, the rib!
I don't want to see you get hurt.
I'm not gonna get hurt. It'll be okay.
Burr, 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 burr.
Oh, hey, are you enjoying the view?
Yas, bitch!
Isn't it magnificent?
No.
Isn't it just breathtaking?
I've known Monique for over 4 years. Monique is super fabulous. She's the nicest person you'll ever meet. A lot of people get distracted by her exterior, but once you talk to her, you find out she really does care about the people in her life.
The hills
Damn,
are alive.
Monique
Well,
makes bank. She lives
I just got back
in
from the doctor.
Los Angeles, in
What
Beverly
Well,
Hills,
they gave me a consult.
So what are you gonna get done?
and has
Huh?
that
gonna
big
get
of a
done?
property with that kind of a view in
Apparently I had a face
LA,
at the back of the
California.
40s and that- and the
Monique
facelift,
makes
they gave me pixie
money.
ears.
For starters, this is one of my summer cottages.
You call this a cottage?
Her music
The
career
lobe
must
is
be doing
long,
really,
so I
really
get a
well.
Nice, tight, young jawline. I also talked
She
to
did say she has a
Dr.
cult
Dubrow
following,
about,
so that's really nice.
Doing a tummy tuck.
Because cult
It makes it a
followings
little
are
bit
very,
nervous,
very
I won't lie.
committed
Oh, I
fans.
know, I
You may
know,
not have a
I know.
lot
I'm
of
a big
fans, but the
girl.
fans
I'm
you
just
do
worried
have
that,
are
Oh, don't be.
dedicated.
Don't give me bad karma. I'm infinite, I'm immortal,
So-
I'm my spirit and my soul.
Okay.
cult
well, good.
following
I'm really
is
excited about doing
actually
my tummy tuck. I got
really,
shit
really
coming
good
up
and
for
something
my
a
new
lot of
video.
musicians and just
And
artists and
I'll be able
creatives in
to
general
get back
aspire
into
to
some of my
have.
costumes that are just lying there in my panty drawer. I just don't wear them no more like I used to. Here's to a new beginning.
Anybody that's a business person understands it's better to have 1,000 highly devoted and committed people to
Hi, morning.
your
How are
creative
you?
efforts
Good. You had my
than
surgery?
to have
Check
a
in with her so we have to
million
get you-
Okay, great.
indifferent
Can't wait to be back
people
to
who
normal.
just know of
looking
you.
forward to that.
Hi,
You want
Monique.
those
Hi.
1,000
Hi.
committed,
Hi.
awesome,
All right,
super
come on back.
invested in
Hey.
you and
Here.
what you're doing fans versus a million mid people.
The main concern with Monique is she's had more
Quality
silicone
over
injected than almost
quantity.
anyone on the planet. So I want
And
to
a
avoid
lot
as
of
much
people
that
get
silicone
caught
as
up
I
on
possibly
the
can, because I don't want
quantity
to activate an inflammatory
over the
reaction which will lead
quality.
to a lot of post-operative problems. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most difficult, this could be a 9 if I run
It's
into
a lot of iodine.
So the big question, Heidi, is are we going to run into silicone around this hip area?
That is
If
the
we are, that
question.
could be a real problem. Monique is undergoing 2 procedures. For the
Okay.
tummy tuck, I'll make an incision across her stomach, flatten out her abdomen, and cut out any excess skin before stitching her up. Then
Okay,
Paul will
make it
fix her
flatter.
pixie ears by releasing some of the tension in her face and create new earlobes that hang naturally.
Damn,
first
so
thing
they're
we're
going to
gonna
be
do is
doing
cut
2
around the belly
procedures on her
button
at the same time.
and leave the skin supported by its stalk.
Okay, so he's
And then we'll
just
make a new
drawing
hole
on her
later
right
for
there.
the belly button to poke through. Now, we'll make a long, low incision.
Okay, now he's
Hopefully
actually
stay
cutting
out
into
of
her,
the
so we can't
silicone
show this
areas.
part of the video. But
Potential problems with operating on someone who has free silicone in their tissues is that when you make an incision and go in there, that you could incite an inflammatory reaction
could
which
be a
could
war
lead to a
zone.
really bad infection and a huge post-operative
and the thing is, you don't know what you're cutting into until you've already opened her up.
Yeah.
That's the problem with
Hello.
injections and free-floating
silicone
silicone.
globule right there. I
Yep.
hope that doesn't mean we're going to run into a lot of silicone.
It
there's
does.
still Silicone.
I'm sure it does.
Holy cow.
Feel it.
It's a lot of fucking silicone.
It's silicone everywhere.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What do we do?
Right? This operation just got
Can
very
you
complicated.
suction
Doing a
out the
tummy tuck,
silica?
like on Monique, is like making the bed. You lift up the bedspread, you pull it down, rather than tuck it in, you cut off the excess. So
Okay,
we've
that makes
elevated up the
sense.
skin.
That's what the tummy tuck is.
We've
You pull
advanced
it
the
up till
excess
it's nice
tissue
and
down,
tight, and
we're
then you
cutting
cut
off
off
the
what's
excess tissue
excess.
now. It's really greasy here from the silicone. It's
Ew.
weird how silicone greases up the whole operating room. It gets all over the floor. It gets on your gloves. It's disgusting.
Ew.
It's closing time.
All right, looks really flat though, really nice, at least on the table for results. Now let's see what Dr. Nassif does for her pixie ears.
That's not a good sign.
Probably because there's a lot of silicone in her face too, but that shouldn't be there.
Attach low onto her cheek. So I really want to go in there and get what we call a deep plane lift, so I can pull the muscles up, so there is no tension on the skin. The dissection can go pretty simple and fast, or it can be all scar tissue full of silicone. If that's the case, we got a problem. My goodness, this thing is there's so much tension on this.
Damn!
So what are you finding?
In the skin flap, there's no silicone that I've been able to see. Now I'm entering the deep plane to see if I see anything there, but my initial impression, no silicone. What we're doing now is we're stitching up or suturing.
I wonder why it was so hard to go into her face then. Maybe like really botched, shitty, like low-end fillers that she's put in her face. So like maybe there's just actual cement in her face. Because if you're getting black market fillers, they put a lot of bullshit in those things. Like
it's like a normal attached earlobe.
Cement.
Your earlobes look fantastic. I think she's gonna be really happy. As a matter of fact, with the
and that's not me exaggerating. People actually get filled with cement. And they think it's
Myesha Daniels,
like
I'm 27 years old.
filler,
I went
and it's
down
not.
to Mexico. I paid someone $150 to mess me up. We live in LA. And
Always go to a legit filler expert, not somebody on the back streets of Tijuana.
Something on your face, you can't hide it. I've tried cucumbers,
holy
water,
shit, she has huge bags under her eyes.
It doesn't work. I also read that you can get wrestling shots, which will take away the puffiness, the lines, and I'm like, that's me. That's exactly what I have. That's what I need to do. So that's what I focus on. My friend told me about
fat deposits under her eye are
huge. Oh, he'll do you for $150. I was sold. I went to Mexico to get nipped tucked, and I got nipped.
Yeah, no, it's pretty bad.
Once we got home, I started having a reaction to it. My eyes, they were turning darker. They were red. They were swelling, and I just freaked out. I was like, dear God, please don't let me go blind. After the swelling went down, bags, they were humongous. It was like someone kicked my butt. Sham of a job he did on my face. A sham. Sham of a doctor's office. Sham of a job, just sham.
Well, that's what you get for $450 going to fucking Mexico and not doing your research and actually going to a legit filler professional in Mexico or America, wherever the fuck you wanted to do. You just were like, yeah, sure, $450, I'm sold. You didn't do any research, so that's your own fault for being a dumbass.
Suffering some form of brain damage.
So excited. Dr. Nassif, Dr. Brown, Dr. Nassif, Dr. Brown.
I like her personality, though.
Hook me up, touch my face, hook me up.
Myesha. Love that name, though. It's very, very pretty.
The sham of the job Mexico did to me.
It is very common for patients to go to Tijuana, Mexico to have some procedures. Very inexpensive is usually the sign that there's something not really right about it. You gotta be careful. You gotta make sure the credentials are there for the surgeon.
And I'm sure she didn't look at credentials literally whatsoever. Only looked at the price tag.
They're totally cramping my style.
I dig Myesha.
I want to take a minute to thank the sponsor of today's video, my very own Kick channel. When you make your free Kick.com account and follow me, you'll get exclusive access to join me for my multiplayer gaming shenanigans. I am live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. You do not want to miss out on moments like this. Pause this video right now and go follow me on Kick today.
Welcome to the stream.
We're trying to get to Kick verified by the end of the year. I want to go into 2025 with a wonderful check mark next to our name with our community, which it is very similar to Twitch Partner. If you guys are more familiar with the Twitch streaming platform, Kick verified and Twitch Partner are the same. But we have to have 75 average viewers in order to do that. So every single one of you guys who follows and hangs out in the streams with me will help us towards that goal, and I would appreciate you so much. Plus, I get to hang out and chat with you guys live, which is amazing. We don't have a delay in the comment section. Win-win. But I appreciate you guys for watching and coming this far, and thank you for being here. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. Those fat bags are huge.
Was it one syringe? Was it two syringes? How much?
It was like in a little jar. It was white.
And he sucked it up?
He sucked it up.
That's not Restylane.
In the syringe.
It didn't come in a pre-made syringe.
No, it didn't.
Myesha's fatty bags were so much larger than we would expect, and I'm certain that's due to the inflammatory process of having that filler injected in Mexico.
You know what we need to do? We need to go examine them.
Okay.
You know, you go to Mexico for your margaritas and chips. You don't go there for your plastic surgery. Watch my finger with your eyes.
Not unless you've done a lot of research.
And up.
Here's the thing, like,
look at that.
From watching Botched before, they are very like anti
especially those right here.
Any other country in the world surgery than America, which makes sense for them business-wise, right?
And a small procedure to...
Because if they can convince viewers that the only place you could ever possibly get surgery is in America, then that just means more money to line their pockets and the pockets of the American plastic surgeons, right? But there are legit surgeons in every country of the entire world, because guess what? America isn't the center of the fucking universe. So if you are going to go to Mexico, there are legitimate plastic surgeons with a great field of work and lots of experience and years of doing things correctly. but you have to do your research. You can't just go to the first person that's like, oh yeah, $200 for a titty job? I can make it happen. You can't do that. You still, regardless, it doesn't matter what country you go to get your shit done in. If you're going to another country in order to make it cheaper, more power to you. Again, just make sure you have done copious amounts of research to make sure that you are going to a doctor that you are extremely confident in their body of work.
The fat and
and are not just looking at a price tag. Look at credentials, not just the price tag.
Let's take care of you first.
Okay. Thank you, Jesus. Not only am I getting these things ripped off my face, but I'm getting ripped off my face by the best doctors in Beverly Hills. I want to be on that table, in your hands, anesthesia in.
Okay, so she
and ship them back to Mexico with a little bow.
Is also getting approved for surgery. So I guess they just changed up the formula for the last episode of season 1, the last like normal episode of season 1. They're approving all 3 guests for surgery versus approving 2 and denying 1 and just having the extreme person be on for, you know, TV drama. LA models. It is hard to get into the modeling industry. I used to try and do modeling as a career, and I've been denied by hundreds, not exaggerating, at least 200, if not 300, probably between 200 and 300 agencies I've applied to and been denied for.
Yes. These bags, I mean, they put a stump in my career, but they will not take me out.
You can do it, Myesha. You are gorgeous. You are very thin. You can do editorial.
Relax.
She has the body for it.
Just call me and I'll bring you back in to meet with you again. And you know, there's never any guarantees, but this helps a lot. Because you know what I mean? It's the first thing people see when you enter a room.
Yes.
If you can fix that,
it'll be absolutely amazing. Yeah. I'm excited about it. You know what? I have to get these bags on my face. I have to. If I don't, then I might as well just give up on something I love. The fact that she got a meeting with an actual agent in a modeling agency as profound as LA Models is wild in and of itself. Good for her, but as like a little look-see into the life of modeling. If we watch America's Next Top Model, which I do want to bring into the zeitgeist of our shenanigans in the future, because I really like America's Next Top Model. I think it'd be really fun to watch and react to together. It is very hard to get into modeling, not just because obviously you need to have the look for it, you need to educate yourself on posing and what looks right and be able to take direction, sell a creative director's image and a designer's image and do everything you need to do, right? Not only do you have to do that, but you also have to fit very, 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 very specific specifications that you cannot change. You have to have your hair a natural color and keep it that color the entire time you're employed. You cannot have fun nails. You cannot have fun makeup. Obviously, you can do fun makeup if you are not going to a shoot or anything that day or whatever, if you're actually booking work. You need to essentially be a blank canvas all the time. So if you're somebody who is very self-expressive, like I am, not being able to dye your hair any color you want and having to keep the exact same color forever, not being able to do your nails because you need to have, again, a blank canvas for whatever the creative director wants you to look like. You need to have your face be as clear as possible, as little to no acne as possible, constantly taking care of your stuff, and then of course your body as well, and having your body be whatever specification it is, whether you are a plus size model or whether you are a straight size model that is doing commercial or editorial work. You need to look and stay a very specific weight and have very specific measurements. Your bust needs to stay the exact same size. You cannot get surgeries of any kind. You cannot get body modifications. You cannot get piercings. You cannot get tattoos. You cannot get any changes done to your body without prior approval of your agent, because it will change your marketability as a blank canvas. Essentially, you're a mannequin for all of these designers and creatives to sell their product. And if you change anything about yourself, you have to get approval first or you will break your contract and you'll be kicked out of the agency. It is a lot more restrictive than people think. And obviously you need to be traditionally beautiful in order to be a model, whether male, female, or otherwise. That definitely helps, but not only is it hard with the body specifications, it's also just depending on what the agency is looking for. If they already have a bunch of editorial people and they're only looking for plus size models and you happen to be straight size, then even if you're gorgeous and would be a great straight size model for them for runway, for editorial looks, they're not going to bring you onto their team because they're only looking for plus size people at that point in time. It's very, 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 very hard to have modeling be your job, and major props to all the people who managed to do it. I tried to do it and it was not something that was in the cards for me. It is a very difficult industry to get into and be successful with. As somebody who is as self-expressive as myself, I'm actually thankful looking back on it that I wasn't able to have modeling be my job, because I am so much more happy being an independent
content creator than I would be if I was under the watchful eye of an agent and an agency 24/7. I can have my hair be whatever I want. I can have my nails be whatever I want. I can have my makeup and my clothes and my body be whatever I want it to be for myself and for my own satisfaction. And if I happen to get any sponsorships, any brand deals, model for ad campaign for a company for whatever, it's because they want to work with me for me, regardless of how I look. They want to work with me as I am, not work with me but only if I change XYZ about myself. And that's something that I think is a lot more freeing and empowering than being a traditional model.
I have a fear of surgery. My hope after all this surgery is said and done is just that it's over. And whatever the outcome is, we move forward.
I'm really excited to see how well they're going to be able to reconstruct that cleft lip of hers.
This is going to be the last day
I hope that they're able to do a really knock-up job for her.
You know, most of my life, especially over the past, 10 years. And I hope it boosts my confidence.
So look at this, and you can see she has some fibrofatty tissue in her lip, by the way, and I can feel it right there. So the nose has no support. So our goal is to take the nose.
Also, I will send some modeling pictures of myself back when I had my
Then I'm going to open up the nose, take some skin and cartilage from her left ear, and I'll use that to lift
modeling
the
stint done so you guys can see like what my body was like and what my look basically had to be like when I was trying to pursue modeling.
One area she has some scar tissue.
Just so you have some frame of reference.
Lip that are deflated or hollow, I need to inject fat in that region. Some type of scar tissue.
Okay, so you have to put fat in order to.
When I opened up Kelly's lip, I
fix
found
a concavity,
which felt like scarred tissue. So here's what she was feeling. Oh yeah, it is firm.
Yeah.
She got this tissue from the
That's scar
nose.
tissue. It's just a little
Tissue
globule.
from the nose, right inside of her lip, and here it is. Okay, this is pure fat that I'm injecting in the lip, which will act as a filler. We're going to start the nose. So the septoplasty is I'm removing deviated bone and cartilage from inside the nose, opening up her airway. In that same procedure, I want to make sure that I harvest or remove a large, good piece of septal cartilage that I can use for her rhinoplasty. Okay, we're going to fracture the bones. Kelly wanted to have a thinner nose, and the best way to do that is to nail the nasal bones. That's why I fractured the bones and brought them in.
That way it brings them in, and then when they heal, they'll be healed in the thinner position, as long as the cast stays in place to lock the thinner bones into place. It looked a lot better on the table. Her nose hump was down, the cleft was fixed so that the scar was minimized.
How are you feeling?
I'm excited to see the results of that.
I'm feeling pretty good.
They still have that fancy bougie water in the waiting room. I love that for them.
Okay, great.
I hate coconut or cucumber water. Disgusting.
Out for the count for a couple days.
Lemon lime orange water though. Sign me up.
Hi, how are you?
Monique. Well, I like the way you have your head wrap on. Very almost like a sailor.
How are you, my dear?
It is very cute.
So how does your stomach feel?
Feels really good.
It does?
Well, yeah, it does.
You already stopped bleeding. That's a good sign. It's already turned yellow.
Yeah, I was going to say her drains look quite good.
Oh, that is nice.
Wow, that just being so soon out of surgery, that looks amazing. Obviously, it still has a long way to heal, but the way the scar looks right now,
Monique's abdomen looked very irregular due to the liposuction
amazing.
and
It's
the
so
silicone injection she
smooth
had.
now.
After surgery,
It is
her abdominal wall is
so
really tight, the
flat
skin
and
is very
tight.
smooth, and her overall waist contour is really nice.
it does. It looks very, very good. Okay, but now let's see the pixie ears. We got to see the pixie ears.
I love hearing that.
I have no pain. I have a little sensitivity in the ears, but I have no pain in the face whatsoever.
It really doesn't look
Let's
better.
take a peek. Let me look.
It doesn't look improved at all.
Right,
That one does.
I mean, you look
That one
fantastic.
looks
I
like
can
a
tell
real
you,
ear.
she
Her
looks
other
fantastic. She
side,
has no bruising. If she didn't have these little stitches around the ears, you wouldn't know that she had a full revision facelift. You should have had more bruising than this, so you know.
her
you
ear
know, you're
on
more
the left
remarkable
side
here. Plus, you know, I think I did a
looks
pretty good job.
Well, that's 'cause we did the
botched
difficult
as
part first,
fuck
and then the easy
still.
part
It
follows.
still looks like a
Exactly.
pixie
You know,
ear.
just an afterthought.
Her ear on the right
This is like
has a
communication.
normal
It's like going to cleaners, get your nails
curve.
done,
That
have
one
plastic
actually
surgery.
looked
This is just
reconstructed.
Kings of
So,
the corrective
unfortunately,
surgery.
only one of her ears is fixed. But maybe she can get another reconstructive surgery with Dr. Nassif after she heals up completely from the facelift in this one, so that she can get the left ear to be even more improved, because it still looks pixie fucked up.
I'm so happy to see you.
Her right ear looks good, just the left one looks like shit.
I'm so excited for you. Let's do it. Come with me.
Yes, get him, Myesha.
Say goodbye to my baby.
I love this girl.
Also, her shoes, super cute. She's wearing the sneakers that are also secretly wedges. Oh, love those.
Oh, I just love the energy. Touch me. It's contagious.
Touch me. It's
One of the main
contagious. Ah, I
issues
love her.
and
I love
difficult
that
problem
MA.
associated with revision surgery is many times we don't have the past history. We don't have op reports. We don't have procedures notes.
Okay.
So sometimes we don't know what we're getting our hands into.
No, you really
The big
don't.
question mark is, what are we going to find inside of these eyelids? She had some unknown substance injected in Mexico.
Get this section on, please.
Huh.
To get rid of the bags below Myesha's eyes, I'll make an invisible incision inside her lower eyelid.
Okay, so they're gonna peel back her and peel down her eyelid, make a decision inside the eyelid, and then get into the fat from the inside of that incision, so she doesn't have a visible scar on the eyelid, lower eyelid itself. That's actually really cool that they can do it from inside her eyelid.
That's the best thing it could be.
In order to hide the scar. That is such a big piece of fat.
They're 2, 3, 4 times larger than most of the fat that I've seen.
Wow!
That's the biggest lateral fat pad I think I've ever seen in my life.
It actually looks like the filler that she had injected in Mexico made her natural fat pads worse through an inflammatory process, causing blood vessels to grow into it and the whole area to swell up. It's completely unclear what the filler was that caused her fat to get so big and overdeveloped.
But luckily,
holy
no
shit.
Scar tissue.
No scar tissue.
And no sign of filler.
And no silicone.
Well, that's good. There was no free-floating silicone. Thank God for that, because we saw how bad that was with Monique.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful surgery. There's no doubt in my mind
But
that
the amount of fat she pulled out from her under eye is wild. If you guys look at mine, you can see that there's really very little fat that's underneath the eye. And normally you don't have very much. If you're of Asian descent, you usually have a little bit of a thicker fat deposit underneath your eye, because you have the fat under your eye, and then you have the fat over your eye, because you usually have a hooded eye. So you have more fat on the bottom and the top in order to create that hooded eye, right? That's just very characteristic of people of Asian descent. But as somebody of European descent or African descent like Myesha is, they should not have very much fat deposits under their eyes. So the fact that she had more than normal just means genetically she lost the lottery of having more than she should have. But how fucking thick they were, how much fat he pulled out from under her eyes.
2, how is the symmetry of the tip going to look, especially the nostrils? And 3, how is her lip going to do? Right,
yes, let's see. How's the lip? How's the lip?
So remember that fullness was right here. So I made a little incision right there. And I found a little bit of fiber.
It looks symmetric to the hill of the lip on the other side.
And then I took some of that pure fat I have from your stomach, and I put some up in here, and I tapered it. Even though there's a good chance that some of the fat that I put in Kelly's lip will dissolve, I never overdo it, because it's that one time that the fat will stay, and then we've overdone it.
And then you've overdone it, and then it looks bad. You can always put more back in if some goes away, but you can't take out what's already there.
It's just amazing.
Always be conservative.
It already is. Once I am healed, I'd like to renew our vows and have our friends and family see me looking my best.
Thank you so much. Drink some protein shake.
Okay, right now, she's swollen as hell, bruising everywhere, but right now, it looks pretty good. Just saying, it looks pretty darn nice.
Hot and improved Myesha.
Oh, hot and improved Myesha, let's go.
I have the glasses off, my face ready, and I just am so absolutely happy I can wait for everybody to see.
Fancy. Bouncer at the door. Yas, get it, bitch. She looks fabulous.
The Myesha that's always been on the inside.
Wow.
Out like she broke out of prison. Looks amazing. Look.
It is a night and day difference.
I'm so happy I have not stopped smiling. Like, who wanna talk to me? Who wanna talk to me? You like me, they think I'm cute. Everyone thinks I'm cute.
I am shook.
I feel amazing. Not having bags has absolutely boosted my confidence.
Wow, look at this difference. Obviously, we're gonna get the before and after, but look at this amazing difference. She has no visible scar under her eye. Obviously, she has makeup on, so keep that in mind. You remember that there was a very defined ridge because of the amount of fat that was pushing up from underneath her eye, creating this huge hill underneath her eyes. The fact that she has nothing there, just normal lines under her eyes, which everybody has and everybody will always have, is astounding. Look at that difference! Again. She does have makeup on, and it's not a valid before and after, especially when it comes to facial shit, if you're showing the before and after, one before with no makeup, one after with makeup, because it's not a one-to-one to actually show how good your work was, but it's a TV show, so we must live with it. Even with the foundation, right? Foundation cannot fix a dip because of the amount of huge hill in a bag that is under her eyes here. The fact that it's flat, that she can actually bake under her eyes and put concealer and foundation under her eyes and have it be flat in this beautiful canvas that she has now versus what she had before. Night and day difference.
The main problem was the bags under my eyes, but now
huge improvement.
Every modeling agency, so Wilhelmina, LA models, Paris, France, Milan, you better watch out.
Oh, I'll be excited to see if Myesha was able to become a model when I do my, where are they now? I hope that she was able to be the model that she wanted to be.
Today, Leonard and I are renewing our vows. It feels like what it should have been when we first got married. We kind of skipped this step in hopes to do it down the road. And then after we got a little further down the road, we figured it probably wasn't ever gonna happen.
Are you feeling nervous or excited, or both?
Excited, because I didn't get to like walk down an aisle before or anything.
Oh, very nude, neutral tones.
I'm really
could have been me.
excited and ready.
Okay, this is too wholesome for my liking.
Need to come out and just feel beautiful. It's still a little weird to know that, you know, everyone's staring at me, but I can't wait to get these photos and hang them up all over our house. And it's
that
nice to
dress
be
looks
able
so
to
pretty on her,
enjoy
and it's
those
sparkly
memories
too.
and not worrying about how I look in them.
We love the sparkles.
Kelly looks amazing.
Aww.
You know, she's waited so long for
She's
this.
so
She deserves this.
pretty. Look at that dress, it's so gorgeous.
We have come here today to celebrate as Kelly and Leonard.
And her lips are symmetric. Look at the symmetry of her top lip. The two hills of her right side and left side are almost identical
I admire the
to
family
each
man
other.
you've become and the sacrifices you've made. You're my husband.
Amazing.
You're my home. You're my forever. I love you.
Oh.
So do you, Leonard, reaffirm your vows to your wife?
Yes, I do.
Do you, Kelly, reaffirm your vows for your husband?
I do.
So it is my honor and privilege to present you once again as husband and wife.
Aww. Good for them. They had a little family get together for their vows.
You look gorgeous.
Cute.
Thank you. Since the surgery, I'm a lot more confident. I don't
Wow.
worry as much about where I'm standing in pictures.
And the
or
nose,
angles I'm
her
at.
nostrils
I don't
have been
feel like
brought
I have a
down
good side
as
and a
well,
bad
so it's a
side
more
anymore. I can
natural
just go with the
looking
flow.
nostril position too.
She's not embarrassed
And it
to
was
pose anymore.
definitely
I
more
think she's
symmetric.
happy.
Good for
And
her.
Really, that's everything.
I have not cropped a photo since my surgery, and I don't plan on cropping anymore.
Good. She deserves to be in
Do you smell
all
it?
of the
Smell
family
the roses.
photos.
Oh, they
Aww.
feel so good. It felt good to
She
just
looks
feel pretty.
gorgeous.
I feel absolutely beautiful.
And the most important thing is if she
does.
feels beautiful, because she needs to be happy with who she is. Ba-da-da-da. Oh, Monique in her very gay music video. We're here for it.
Shoot 38 Triple F. I was with the
Gotta
Department of
powder the
Corrections for
titties.
28 and a half years, so I decided to go with a law enforcement theme. If they need busting, I can call a parole agent or two.
1,
If they need busting.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
No one's really seen me. I've been just, locked up in my condo by myself. So now I'm ready to, start busting a move.
Oh.
I feel great now. I'm ready
I'm
to rock and
excited.
roll.
See what her final end result is. Hey! Damn!
You look amazing. I love your
Her
stomach.
tummy is
Yeah,
so
you look great.
flat.
Let's see the ears.
You want to see the ears?
Oh, they look great.
You want to see the face? I used to have
Oh,
something
her
called
ear
pixie
actually
ears.
healed
Now
up.
they're normal.
Her
She looked
ear
amazing.
healed
Her
up
face
way
looks
better
great.
than what
Her
we
ears
saw.
are smaller. They look cute. She
Ooh.
has an amazing flat stomach.
Okay, so it
like
like
the ones we
went from
look.
being
I
pixie
feel really
on
good
that
about
left
myself.
side, on
I
that
know I
fucked up
look
side I was talking
improved.
about, to
And
actually
improved, I
going
guess,
to like a normal ear
hotness.
in
It's
healing, so
possible
that's
now with
good.
my own looks, they'll
Oh
give
my
me
gosh, she looks so
inspiration to write
cute.
some
I
new
love that
songs.
outfit.
Oh, no, then
I would
maybe there'll be
totally wear
something with,
something just as
pixie ears.
flamboyant as that if I was her.
Let's get this video started.
Or if I just had those clothes, I would wear something as flamboyant as that. Monique is an icon and we are here for it. Glamorous Monique. All the titties.
Before my tummy tuck, I noticed that my stomach was lumpy, but now my
Here's the thing though, by the way, Auntie, if you're watching this, shout out to you, you beautiful bitch. Auntie made a really good point in the last episode of Botched that we had, where you can clearly see that obviously this tummy looks great, it's flatter, it's tighter, there's not as much loose skin, but the panties in this before picture are a lot lower than the panties we see in this one, probably because they're trying to hide the scar of the tummy tuck and they don't want to show it on camera because they want to make, of course, botched results look as miraculous as possible with the magic of editing. And so they're doing editing magic, basically, of just hiding the scar by having the panties pulled up. But again, it's not a proper one-to-one, so you have to keep that in mind with this before and after. The panties are much lower here and you do not see a scar, so because they pulled it up higher, you would assume that there is not a scar here because you don't see one, but in reality, there really is a scar here. And what they should have done was show where the scar was, because if I was getting a tummy tuck, I would want to see where the scar ended up positioning in its final placement. If I was watching this and seeing, oh, should I get a tummy tuck like Monique? Where does her scar fall? It's not a proper one-to-one, and I really wish they would show where the scar placement is, because showing what the scars look like after surgery is just as important as the non-scar results.
Stomach looks flat. I love my new belly button. I love the contour. I love the shape. There's not much
It's
more than a girl
much
can ask
flatter
for.
than it was before.
Prior to this surgery, I really had no
Damn,
earlobe,
that is
but
a
now I don't think my ears
huge
ever looked this
improvement.
good. Thank you, doctors.
Her
If you
ears.
must, shake the bust.
Shake the bus. Triple F. Jesus Christ, that's a big tits.
Great job, Monique.
I'm a G cup. Triple F, that is a lot. And that is going to be it for today's episode of Botched. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure you go ahead and click that like button, subscribe, because not only does it taste delicious, but it helps us out here on the channel tremendously. We are trying to grow to 5,000 amazing people here in our community by the end of 2024. So every single sub helps us towards that goal. We're almost 4,800 subscribers, which is amazing. And hopefully we'll be able to get the around 240-ish more people that we need in order to reach the goal of 5K by the end of the year. I've never had 5,000 subscribers on a YouTube channel before, and I would love for my original Lecka TV YouTube channel that I'm now niching into reality TV content to be the channel that hits that. I would absolutely love that. But thank you guys so much for being here. I love all your faces. And without taking up any more of y'all's time, I will go ahead and let you beautiful people go. Goodbye, my lovelies.